What's going on, everyone? I'm back. I started doing videos on current affairs, things I've got experience of, things I've got opinions on, and everything in between, to be honest with you. I just want to speak today about prisons, inmates, conditions, staff shortages, illegal highs, drugs, mobile phones within prisons, and everything in between, to be honest. I've been in prison myself. I'm a reformed criminal. I've been involved with, I'm a former gang member. I've been involved with gangsters, criminals, just naughty people, to be honest with you. I lived in that world for since I can remember. Been in Strangeways, HMP Manchester to some of you, and also been through Forest Bank as well in Salford. The reason I keep seeing headlines on prison attacks on prison officers and stuff like that from inmates and stuff now, the reason these things are happening is because the lads are locked down 24 hours of the day because there's not enough screws, prison officers, whatever you want to call them, to safely control the lads. Now, so the lads are pent up in a cell that's meant for one person with two people. A lot of these lads that are in prison are obviously quite dangerous, violent, volatile, and a lot of them are suffering with mental illness, whether it be psychotic tendencies, psychosis, depression, anger, and everything in between. And there's just not the help within the prisons for the prisoners. The staff within the prisons are not mentally health trained, so they can't help the people that need the help. So they're battling their own demons, and on top of that, they're given, like by the doctor, you'll get prescribed antipsychotic drugs. Now, the lads that are being given these antipsychotic drugs are given them in possession, which means you can take, you can have a packet of antipsychotic tablets, you can take them back to your cell. Now, what's happening? These antipsychotic tablets can mong you out, right? They can make you sleep, for example, and they have just like any sort of drug or like prescription drug or a legal drug or a legal high in prison. It has a price. Now, these prisoners with mental health illness, they need these antipsychotic drugs to make them think straight. Now, so they're like chemically unbalanced in the brain, so they need these tablets. But what's happening? They're selling these tablets to lads on the wing and swapping them or buying legal highs. So you've got someone with a mental health illness that's swapping their medication that they need for legal highs, illegal drugs, and everything else, and it's causing more problems than good. The staff, not in strange ways, but because the prison officers are just laughable. They've got low morale. The numbers are shockingly bad, how low the numbers are within prisons. It's easier to get a mobile phone, drugs, and legal highs to your cell, delivered to your cell, than it is to get a screw to your cell. Now, that sounds quite long-winded, but it's a fact. I've been in prison, I know what the score is, so I can comment. Prison officers just lock themselves away in the office because they don't feel safe. And what they'll do, they'll just let the lads run riot, so to speak. That is when the lads are available and are allowed out, because for most of the time, let me tell you, they're locked up for long, stupid periods of time. So the lads are more pent up, they're angry and stuff like that. The ironic thing is, the clashes between prisoners and screws is they're both mad at the same system, the government and the Ministry of Justice, because the Ministry of Justice, the cutbacks of the government and stuff means there's less prison officers than there's ever been. You've got more violent, volatile, dangerous, organised criminals within the prison system. Prison's overcrowded anyway. They send you to prison for all sorts of stuff, from petty crime, obviously, up to serious crime and stuff. And it's just going to get worse, to be honest. I mean, where's it going to end? I mean, honestly, like, the lads within the prisons and that are treated like animals. Now, a lot of people are watching this and thinking, the prisoners, what do I care? But they're also human beings, and they deserve a normal, basic, entitlement to things that you take for granted. Example: the showers are freezing cold. The food, the portions of food. I lost 2 stone in 6 weeks. And I'm like a 6'4", 20 stone guy, and I lost 2 stone in 6 weeks in strange ways. That's how bad the food. That was eating every bit of food I had. I'd eat. Not because I'm a greedy bastard, obviously. But yeah, so you've got to beg for toilet roll. No association, no exercise. Begging for toilet rolls, begging for toiletries that you take for granted on the outside. And if you treat people like animals, you shouldn't be surprised when they act like animals. And it's just the prison officers. A lot of them are dodgy anyway. They're bringing drugs into the prison because they want to top up their wage. Legal highs within prison are rife. I mean, Strangeways and Forest Bank, the prisons that I was in. There's actually, like, the prison staff at Forest Bank, which is a Cat B prison, were a lot more switched on. Still understaffed, still like bad, but there was more switched on than the screws in a Cat A prison in Strangeways, which is strange because you think that a Cat A prison will be stricter, more vigilant, more deterrent and stuff like that, but no, it's not happening. The staff in Forest Bank are trained or do a course to, like, understand and be able to pick up the signs of someone that's on legal highs or drugs in general. But the simple fact is, they shouldn't have to do drug awareness courses because they shouldn't be the drugs in the prisons in the first place. Now, but again, it's down to government cutbacks and stuff like that. And the prisoners within the system and that, I feel sorry for them. I've been one, and I'm defending them. You've got to do a bit of this and a bit of that in prison to get by. Nothing's given to you on a plate, so you've got to do a bit of this and a bit of that. And drugs in prison go for vast amounts of money. Where you could get a £20 bag of heroin outside the prison, in prison you're talking 100, 120, 130, 140 plus pound for a £20 bag. But saying that, there's more and more drugs in prison that it's actually caused the price of drugs within the prison system, within the prisoners, to come down, because obviously it's all down to supply and demand. Now, if you've got a little bit and everybody wants it, drugs wise, you can sell it for a lot more. When you've got other lads on the wing that have got competition, that have got the drugs and stuff, and he's undercutting, like, if I'm selling it cheaper than person B, people are going to come to me because I'm selling it for cheaper. And you've actually got, and that's the problem, there's that much drugs in prison, the price have come down. Mobile phones are readily available. What's the point in spending £20 a week on the bloody on the prison phone where your calls are recorded and stuff, when you can just get a banned mobile phone, which are readily available? Anyone can get one. Anything you can get out of prison, you can get in prison. But going back to the mobile phones, yeah, you could, when you ring on a banned mobile phone, which obviously prisoners shouldn't have, you're able to organise bringing drugs in. You can update your social media, chat to your friends without anybody listening in and stuff like that. You can talk openly and freely and stuff, and that's the way that prisons have gone. Down to prison attacks on prisoners, down to attacks on prison officers. Yeah, it does happen. Yeah, granted, it does happen. These lads are dangerous, violent lads that are cooped up 24 hours a day in a 8x6 cell. Probably less than that, to be honest. I'm not too good with my maths and stuff. So these lads are angry, and so they should be in the treatment as well. You see, when you see like all these things in China and stuff where dogs are like in cages and stuff, same thing in prison, exactly the same, and they get treated the same as well. Basic lack of amenities. Yeah, right, you've got a TV in your cell, whoop it fucking do. You've got about 6 channels, the picture's crap. That's it. The prison officers are not vigilant. They're not. The morale is low. They're overstretched, overworked, and massively understaffed. If the Ministry of Justice paid more money for prison officers, the lads would be allowed more association. So that means they're allowed out of the cell to mix with other prisoners and stuff. and also exercise as well, where they're allowed on the exercise yard as well. The lads would be happier, the prison officers would be happier, it'd be a win-win for all concerned. But no, penny pinching government at it again, putting prison officers' safety at risk. But also on the flip side of that as well, let me tell you, don't think that prison officers don't attack prison inmates neither, because it happens, mate. It probably happens more than prisoners attacking prison officers. Prison officers being attacked by inmates is normally as a result of they've been given a kicking by a screw the week before, 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before. Us prisoners, we've got long memories, and we don't forget. But yeah, I mean, where's it going to end? I mean, there's just less and less prison officers than there's ever been. More violent inmates, more volatile inmates, more clued up inmates as well. I mean, the prison officers are chasing their tails. I mean, every time that they try to counteract, like drugs coming in or something, the prisoner, it's like a game of chess, but the prisoners are like 3 or 4 steps ahead. It's a simple fact. They're just powerless to stop it, to be fair. I mean, but like I say, when you've got prison officers that are dwindling in numbers, and you've got like more organised criminals and stuff, it's a green light for prisoners to try and take control of the prisons. I mean, even though the prisons are locked down for stupid amounts of time and stuff like that, they're still peddling the drugs, they're still doing this, they're still doing that, they've still got banned mobile phones and stuff. The prison officers are just not vigilant, they're not there, they're not visibly there. I've seen prison attacks, I've seen inmates attacking inmates, I've seen inmates jumping each other for drugs and everything else. And the weird thing is, like, behind the closed walls of all the prisons in the UK, there are actually there's drug wars going on within the prisons, because the drug trade within prisons is more valuable money wise than it is on the outside. Now that's crazy to say, but it's a fact. Like I say, with drugs going for 5 times what they would on the inside, on the inside, what than they would on the outside. Like I say, it's a very lucrative business, to be honest, and you can make a lot of money, let me tell you. And like I say, on top of that, you'll be working on the wing, you can earn like £7 a week being a cleaner, or up on the croft making bloody towels, or do you know what as well? It's like slave labour as well within the prisons, because what they do, they employ you for £7 a week, which is obviously below minimum wage and everything else, which I think the prisoners should get. And they're forced to make food and things like that, which is then distributed to the outside world. And that's a fact. So the prison are making money, and the Ministry of Justice are making money off prisoners suffering. It's just like you would in China with an 8-year-old boy sewing bloody like a Prada wallet or something, or an Adidas trainers or something like that. It goes on. And I wanted to speak out about it because it's something I feel strongly about, and it's something that I've witnessed firsthand, and it's something that the Ministry of Justice, it really winds me up. If there's an incident at Strangeways now, the media would contact the prison and say, right, what's going on? And throughout any prison, the Ministry of Justice have got this blanket policy where this is what they say: we do not discuss individual prisoners' cases. That's what they say. In other words, there's something going on, but we don't want you to know what's going on, because you'll then spread it to the outside world. So they're trying to keep a lid on what's going on. But let me tell you, if a prison officer got attacked, right, the Prison Officers Association and the Ministry of Justice will be straight on the phone to the media. Oh, the officer got slashed by a convicted murderer or something. Simple fact is, don't put the prison officers shouldn't put in their hands on the lads, and the lads then retaliate and stuff. And I would as well. If a prison officer put his hand on me, I would go after him. And I just personally believe it's only a matter of time before a prison officer is killed, maimed, or seriously injured. Mark my words. And when it does happen, and it will happen, don't say I didn't warn you. Prisoners deserve to be treated with respect, with dignity, and they deserve more rights. I mean, in American prisons, they actually have access to the social media and stuff like Facebook, which sounds mad, but in prison in America, you've got it where the prisoners are using social media to upload pictures of their friends in prison, with the lads on the wing and in the cell and everything. And that's the way I think it should go in the UK. I think it would reduce violent offending within prisons. I don't think it's solved the drug problem. According to the Ministry of Justice, there's not a problem with drugs in prisons now. let me tell you straight, that is absolute bull crap. There is a problem within drugs in prisons. Illegal drugs, legal highs are taking over legal drugs because they're cheaper. They're cheaper to buy, they're cheaper to get hold of, and they're easy to get hold of. So yeah, I mean, when I was in Forest Bank in Salford, B1, which is one of the wings, is actually known by prison officers as the Mamba wing. Mamba being a legal high, Spice, Mamba, Magic, Clockwork Orange. And then you've got people that are like obviously getting hold of other drugs, Class B drugs, Class C drugs, Bubble, MDMA, Class A ecstasy, heroin, crack cocaine. Anything you can get outside of prison, you can get in prison. It's as simple as that. And it's just sad to see the way that prisons are going. And it's only going to get worse. Less police officers on the streets, more violent offenders, more dangerous weapons available on the streets. And people wonder why the crime's going up and stuff. Dwindling police numbers, higher crime rates. A lot of crimes are going unsolved or even uninvestigated. So it's like the Wild West outside on the streets, to be honest. I mean, it's like the OK Corral. It's literally do or die. But let me tell you as well, prison's more dangerous. I know this sounds mad, but prison is more dangerous than the streets. Now, you think, how can that be? The reason is, these lads in prison, they're locked away for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, to life, right? Years, right? And they've got nothing to lose. And a man with nothing to lose is a very dangerous man. And these prisoners do not give a fuck. They will cut you from ear to ear, right? And I mean, they will cut you open, right, for a £20 bag of drugs. It happens. I've seen it happen. What they do then, they'll boil hot water. They'll get a load of sugar. They'll pour it into the finger. They'll stir it up, and that's what it becomes, like a sticky vapor liquid, like gritty sort of liquid. And they'll throw it in your face, and it sticks, and then it just pulls all the skin off your face and stuff like that. We've only got to go online to have a look to Google some of the injuries that happen within prisons, and you'll see firsthand. Prisoners in prison do not give a shit. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. And that's why the drugs and the lucrative mobile phones and drugs and stuff, like you go to Asda now, buy a £20 mobile phone. Right? No internet, no nothing. Go to prison. That phone in prison, you're talking 300 quid. 300 quid all day, every day. Moving on to smartphones, so like even a basic smartphone, even like I don't know, an iPhone 3GS for an iPhone 4, you're talking up to and in excess of £1,000. And it's a fact. And like I say, I've had mobile phones in prison. I've been offered drugs in prisons, but I don't take drugs. It's only going to get worse. The Ministry of Justice and the police and the government have lost control of our streets. And if I'm wrong and people feel I'm wrong, then comment below and let me know. But for what I'm saying, I think I'm bang on the money. I've been doing interviews with the media about prison conditions and stuff in the hope of trying to get improved conditions for prisoners within prisons. Do I think it's going to help? No, not at all. But I like to get the stories out from behind the walls to let the media know what the lads are going through and what they're suffering behind bars and stuff. But yeah, anyway, listen, I'm going to shoot off. Follow me on Twitter as well, Cody, at Cody, Cody, A Lachey, Lachey. Catch you later, guys. God bless. Bye.